Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. Is her Nigerian husband
He gave you this when he proposed?
No, I bought my own ring.
a scam artist?
I see Mom being James's cash cow.
He has 3 different dates of birth on 5 passports. The marriage license, it's got typos. They put an M in license.
They don't spell English how we spell. I know Nigerian. I was there.
But that doesn't mean you weren't getting played. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'm trying to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. The word catfish has become quite the buzzword. We've heard so many heartbreaking stories right here on this show, and their sagas are often similar. They find the love of their life online. He is usually some handsome man whose picture has been stolen from some unsuspecting stranger. The romance starts with poorly written romantic letters sent to these love-starved women, and then bam! Hundreds, sometimes thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars will be mailed all over the world to these men for very dramatic reasons. Shipwrecks, pirate attacks, disease, surgery, arrest. I mean, these boyfriends need money stat. But what if, just what if, now listen carefully, instead of falling in love through a computer screen, you fell in love face to face. Jordan says that his mom, Deanna, did just that. And he suspects that she's spending the family inheritance money on this Nigerian nightmare. Now, Mom Deanna says none of what I just described applies to her husband. She says the only thing that she has spent money on is the hundreds of thousands of dollars in travel expenses, entertainment, and legal fees trying to get her beloved husband, James, from Nigeria into her home. Take a look.
I met James in 2008 when I was on a family vacation in Malaysia. We spent a significant amount of time together. I knew right away he was Nigerian. By the time we were leaving and going home, we said goodbye in the car. We both had a few tears. I was very confident I was coming back to see him again. How I was going to work it, I didn't know. So I flew back 4 or 5 times to see him in Malaysia. After traveling to Malaysia, I decided I would go and meet his family. When I went to Nigeria, I met his family. I felt comfortable. At the end of that trip, James proposed to me, and I accepted. James didn't propose to me with a ring in hand. I'm fairly independent. I designed and bought my own ring. My husband's family took care of the whole entire planning situation. I guess I paid probably a few $1,000s. On our wedding day, we went to the registry. We signed the papers. Everything was certified. And they did seal this. You can actually feel the embossed Nigerian government seal here. The reception was held in Lagos. There was approximately 500 to 700 people. Amen. It was a very fun night. I'm not gonna lie, even that night I went, I can't actually believe I did this. I would say we have a perfect marriage, with the exception of I live in Canada and the Canadian government won't give him a visitor visa.
It's James, Mom.
James, hello. Hello.
You look good.
That's kind of nice. Since we've got married, I visited him 8 or 9 times in Nigeria. We did a lot of travel to other countries. At this point, it's getting very old. There's no doubt that if the Canadian government could see us together, they would believe that our marriage is definitely real. I want to get to be with my husband, and I want us to be a normal man and wife.
Now, Deanna is a smart, successful, and wealthy business owner who says it would be a major adjustment for her to be comfortable being catered to by a man. But her son Jordan and her brother Dale believe that all her Nigerian husband James sees when he looks at Deanna are dollar signs.
I've sent James via Western Union approximately $25,000.
Whenever I see pictures of James on Facebook wearing new clothes, nice fancy jewelry, I think, how is this possible?
I've given him some clothing, some jewelry, necklaces, rings, a couple watches.
Every time my mom goes to Nigeria, she buys him a phone, electronics. She's always buying him new stuff.
Since I've met James, I would say on the high side, I've spent $500,000. On the low side, $250,000 total on everything, including travel for both of us. Hotels, food, getting married. To me, that's not high. Well, that number doesn't jar me.
To me, that's just crazy.
I would hope she didn't spend that much. That is a lot of money. It makes my blood boil.
He's living like a king over in a third world country. I see Mom being James's cash cow, and he knows it. He's going to keep that coming as long as he can.
Okay, it's good to meet you.
Hi.
And we'll get to these naysayers here in a minute. I have an objective here. I want to do one of two things. Well, I want to do two things. I want to clear this thing up one way or the other.
Correct.
You want to know the truth, right?
I do.
And if the truth is as you believe, I want to get you with your husband. I mean, come on. Who wants to be married and their husband be halfway around the world?
That's correct.
So we want to get that fixed.
Right.
Or if it's not straight, if it's not right, if you're being, as they think, used, abused, and exploited, then we want to get that handled as well. But we'll get to the naysayers in a minute. Because we do a lot of these stories where guys are in Nigeria or they're stuck overseas and you don't actually meet them, and it's all of this online love and, oh, baby, honey, send me money, all of that. That's not what happened here.
No,
You
not at all.
were over there. You met him. You've touched him. You've held his hand. This is a real relationship.
That's right. I met him in Malaysia, and it just kept going. I knew by the time I was leaving the first trip, hey, I kind of like that guy.
But then you leave.
And then I left, and I came home, and I said, well, actually, I met a guy over there I kind of like. I think I'm going back.
Did you go back?
4 times.
Did he propose on one of these trips?
Not on that trip. When we went to Nigeria, he proposed to me. I went to Nigeria to meet his family.
Is this the ring?
That's the ring.
And he gave you this when he proposed?
No, I actually bought my own ring. Together, we designed it.
Okay, I'm going to put that in the red flag list.
Okay, that's fine.
Were you guys surprised that she was getting married
Yes.
to someone in Nigeria?
Yeah, I was very surprised. At that time, he already couldn't get a visitor's visa. He couldn't get anything to come to Canada to see us. I thought, this is going to be hard to get him here.
Why was he not coming to see you?
He couldn't get to Canada.
Why not?
Well, 2 reasons. I didn't want to apply. He had a wrong age on his passport, and it's no secret, he's a football player. We never made it a secret.
Well, actually, it's more than just wrong age on the passport. He actually has 5 passports.
One was lost, and it was a duplicate, which
But he has 5.
shows.
And he has
Not all.
3 different dates of birth
Okay.
on 5 different passports.
Right.
And he has different names on the passports, right?
No, I wasn't aware of the different names.
Yeah. Do you know anybody else with 5 passports with 2 names and 3 different
No,
dates of birth?
no, I don't.
No.
I don't.
Okay,
I'm fine with that. Address it.
Look, I'm just so country boy. I just kind of look at the facts.
That's right.
Jordan and Dale are convinced that Deanna's husband, James, is not just lying, but is also cheating. We'll be right back.
I believe that James is a fraud.
James is a scammer.
The Canadian government won't let him in. They just say, no, you're not welcome in the country.
What does the Canadian government know about James that we don't know?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Richard is posting sexual content of other women.
Creepy dad
You're putting sex and women before anything.
or midlife crisis.
He bought a golf cart, 2 cars, a jet ski, 3 TVs. Did you wind up in debt?
$500,000 when we went bankrupt.
That did include the house, so don't...
Are you excusing this situation?
No.
You're backpedaling.
No, not backpedaling.
The hell you're not.
That's tomorrow.
If James is a scammer that Dale or Jordan think he possibly could be, he would be here in Canada right now, scamming me out of far more than a trip here or a meal there. He would come here for way bigger dollars.
Well, Deanna's been married for 6 years. This isn't like 2-week deal. She's been married for 6 years to a man who lives in Nigeria. She says he is the man of her dreams, but her son Jordan and her brother Dale have a very different take on this fairy tale romance.
I have no relationship with James other than we're Facebook friends. Everything I know about James comes from my mom. I don't believe anything my mom tells me about him. My mom tells me he's a professional soccer player. It's funny, I've researched him. I found nothing. There's no team photos. There's no individual photos. There's nothing on him playing soccer.
I believe that James is a fraud.
When my mom told James that she could no longer send him money through Western Union, he went to Facebook and said his ATM was broken. Why is he calling my mom an ATM?
I also saw on Facebook where James said, I have a new young wife and a son.
Mom says most likely his Facebook just got hacked. I've had Facebook for 7 years and I've never been hacked.
I believe that James is living a whole other life in Nigeria.
She'll believe anything she can so she doesn't have to say it's a scam.
He's had 2 passports with different ages, and somebody wrote down that he was a doctor. The Canadian government won't let him in. They just say, no, you're not welcome in the country.
What does the Canadian government know about James that we don't know? These are all massive red flags that prove to me that James is a scammer.
Okay, what makes you think he's a scammer?
I think he's a scammer. Mainly, he has never been able to come to Canada. Is a huge red flag for me. The fact that when my mom wasn't sending him money, then all of a sudden he goes on Facebook or social media sites, says ATM's broken. Calling my mom an ATM for sure is one massive red flag. The fact that my mom says he's a soccer player and I can't find him anywhere.
Dale, what concerns you?
What concerns me?
What makes you think he's a scammer?
I feel he's a scammer because of the things that we found on Facebook.
Your husband's 39?
He's 39.
And this is his picture. He's 39?
Yeah, he's a black guy. Black guys look young. Have you looked at his dad?
He's aging well. I mean, doesn't you think he looks young?
Actually, when I see him in person, no, he doesn't look that young now. I don't look the same as I looked 7 years ago.
You look pretty good.
I work hard at it.
Well, on these Facebook posts that they're talking about, James refers to you, they say, as his ATM.
That's not my husband's type of writing. His grammar is not at all ever like that.
Says, baby, I'm very, very sad. Friend, why are you sad? James, I need money. My ATM is not giving me money. Friend, which ATM is that? My wife.
I actually saw it myself even on there.
You don't think...
It didn't sound at all like his writing. I had
What
to
an
phone to
odd
say.
person to hack, and what an odd thing to say about that. And then he refers to, this hacker, I guess, refers to James' new wife, missing my wife. He originally said my old wife, and said, old wife, you have a new one? He comments, yes, with a baby boy. I love my baby.
That's actually that picture there. I could be wrong, but you can probably verify it. I believe that picture there was taken at my husband's auntie's house, so it should be very easy to verify.
I would be more concerned
like who's the girl that
about that. I mean, who's he commenting on?
Let's ask him.
Did the hacker go put that woman in there and take her picture?
No, I believe that actually might be even one of his cousins. That would be very interesting to find out and ask. And if you don't mind, I'm not trying to be stupid sounding.
Did you ask him?
I might have way back then. I'm not the least bit naive. I'm not the least bit insecure. I'm very confident in what I do and in who I am.
I'm curious, do you have any concerns at all of the legitimacy or motivation of this relationship that you've invested so much money in?
Myself personally, yeah. I have none. I have actually zero. I totally do believe my husband.
Deanna says James is the love of her life, but Jordan and Dale believe that all James may be in love with is her money. We're going to finally hear from James after the break.
My marriage to James is throwing a bit of a crimp into our family situation.
I tell Deanna that I feel that James is scamming her. Deanna becomes defensive, and I back off a bit.
I do get defensive when Dale and Jordan are discussing my husband. When my family doesn't trust my judgment, it doesn't sit very well with me.
She gets upset. She says, if your wife was in another country, how much would you spend to get her over here? What would your cost of love be?
On the new season of Dr. Phil.
My dad sending money to a woman in Mexico that he had an affair with.
She had to have a lung transplant.
You paid for the lung, so she just showed up to a clinic with a lung in an igloo cooler, said, I'm here to get a transplant.
That's basically what happened.
Do you think maybe she's lied to you?
I just want to know the truth. Is my brother-in-law a monster?
An uncle too affectionate with his 16-year-old niece.
You're sending her a letter that says,
I love you with all my heart.
You put whipped cream on your neck, and Grace says you ask her to lick it off.
I don't remember doing that.
The creep meter is pegging over here.
Plus,
you were the facialist to the stars.
Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox.
accused of hiring a hitman to kill her rival.
Did you solicit someone to kill this man?
It was one of those, oh, I could kill this person. I should find someone to take him out.
You typed out a text message. I have found someone that can do this deed for me.
This fall on Dr. Phil.
My mom talks about the potential of moving to Nigeria for 8 months of the year. I don't see how that's fair to her grandkids, how that's fair to her kids to only have her 4 months of the year.
If he can't come to Canada, I quite seriously think I would probably move to Nigeria. I'm not some girl who's only able to be in Canada.
I don't feel it's safe for my mom to move to Nigeria. You can see she has wealth, and I see her as a target.
Okay, joining us now via Skype from Nigeria is Deanna's husband, James. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm here with your wife, as you know, Deanna, and her son, Jordan, and her brother, Dale. And we're kind of talking about this whole situation and you're not being able to be with your wife in Canada and her having to come there to see you. And, you know, frankly, her son and her brother are really worried and suspicious about the legitimacy of this marriage. Are the two of you legally married in Nigeria?
Yeah, we are legally married in Nigeria now.
All of the documents that you have are legitimate documents for your marriage in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing that I'm concerned about. This is the marriage certificate that you provided to us.
Yes.
But we contacted that department there, and this is actually the certificate of marriage that they issue. And they've never seen this document. They don't issue this document. They don't know anything about this document. And when you go through this document, it's got typos all through it. It says fathers' names, like plural. It has down here a disclaimer on this document. It sends you to a website that doesn't exist. The office down there that issues these certificates of marriage has never seen any document like this, don't know anything about this document, don't know anything about this website, says this is not a legitimate document. And you got this Marriage Act book, correct, Deanna?
Yes.
This is the Marriage Act book, and it talks about the marriage license, but when you look at it, it's misspelled. They put an M in it. like Nigeria doesn't know how to spell license? They put an M in it.
I'm not sure.
Would that seem right?
I know where I was, and you can check the pictures. I'm pretty sure it's easy to see if that's a real registry office, because we both went there knowingly thinking we were going to where we were supposed to go to.
Yeah, that's...
And
there's not a registry at that address.
I have no idea.
Did you look at that when you got it?
I mean, I wouldn't have looked at it that much. Like, I don't study.
Well, if you look inside, if you open it, you were talking about it has a raised seal on it?
Correct.
Registrar seal. And this says registrar's seal. They didn't type it in right.
Actually, I know, whatever. I know you finding this hard to believe. I'll let him justify it, because I know Nigeria. I know how they spell. They don't spell English how we spell. It's not how we write.
Would they misspell registrar?
Our government wouldn't, but would Nigeria? Possibly, yes.
Hello?
Yes, James, we're here. We're just finding it odd that there are blatant errors in the way these things are typed up. And when we've checked with the Nigerian government and asked, is this correct? They've just said, no, of course not. Yeah, there are also citations in here of the Marriage Act, which comes from the Constitution, and it's not what the Constitution says. There are differences between what it says in here. They've typed it wrong in here from what it says in the Constitution under Section 27 and Section 11 of the Constitution. And then back here, there are 3 phone numbers that you can call if you have questions.
Correct.
And a website that you can go to get information.
Correct.
The 3 phone numbers are dead.
That's not abnormal for Nigeria.
The website doesn't work.
And that's not abnormal. I'm not making excuses. It's not abnormal.
And the website they send you to the email here for the government is an address at yahoo.com.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't read it. I guess I went in naive in the fact that I trusted my husband, his family was there, our friends were all there, I traveled with him, everything happened. When I did travel with him, I've never felt scared. He's had ample access to hold me hostage.
Okay, well,
I'm
not suggesting he wants to hold you hostage, but I'll tell you what, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
I'm coming on Dr. Phil because I truly believe Dr. Phil could help us find some answers to questions that my whole family is having regarding James scamming me. I would just like Dr. Phil to be able to help me to somehow get him to Canada. We've done everything we can to prove that our relationship is legitimate. I have no doubt in my mind that this is a real marriage, and I truly believe I'm not being scammed.
You were saying that in coming here, you're hoping to get some clarity and hoping that I can help with this. And let me tell you, if I can be convinced that this is a legitimate situation, then I would do anything I could. For me to stand up for somebody, I need to know the facts, and they're going to have to look me in the eye and give me straight-up answers. And I'm a football player, so I've got 5 passports with 3 dates of birth and 2 names on it. Is not a straight-up answer. And saying, they just type funny in Nigeria on this and coming up with a marriage certificate. I know you were there, but that doesn't mean you weren't getting played while you were there. It doesn't mean you were, but it doesn't mean you weren't. I'm not being close-minded. You may have a completely legitimate relationship here, and if you do, I am your best friend.
I agree.
And if you don't, I'm your best friend.
I agree. I agree.
Okay? If you're getting scammed, you want to be my friend, because you want to be my best friend. I'm like a dog with a bone, but if I'm talking to somebody that's like, well, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, You got to pull your head out and say, I want answers to that too.
I do
want answers to that too. You are in possession of what I believe to be a fabricated document germane to your marriage. If that doesn't give you pause, there's something wrong with your logic.
Okay, and I'm good with that. I want to find out.
Okay,
That's why I'm here.
Just so we're connected here, eye contact.
Right. I agree with you.
100. Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
That doesn't mean you're not married. Doesn't mean he's not a real deal. But I'm telling you, if I were you and I was shipping off a lot of money or spending a lot of money to go see somebody, I would want to know why I was in possession of what appears to be a bogus document full of typos, wrong letters, wrong spellings, and dead websites supposedly issued by a government whose ambassador says, I'd want to know about that.
That's correct.
You've paid some medical expenses, right?
I have.
We have a letter from the doctor, right? Family Health Hospital report.
Correct.
Did some excerpts. Chest was clinically stress up. Now, I don't just play a doctor on TV. I've dictated hundreds and hundreds of hospital records on patients. Hundreds and hundreds of hospital records on patients. I carried out some medical tests. After some days, she regained her fitness. That would really concern me.
It actually really concerned me, too. I said these were not done correctly. We never knew what hospital to go to have the proper medical things done until I hired the immigration specialist.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Therefore, as at March 7th March, 2/12, the patient is 100% okay. Glad we've cleared that up. Patient will be coming to the hospital for checkup and receive treatment till, not until, but till, he is 100% all right. Thank God he's 100% okay, and we're going to treat him till he's 100% all right. I don't know, call me old-fashioned, but generally when you dictate a medical record, they require a bit more specificity than some medical test and 100% okay. Now, I'm sorry, that was not dictated by a physician.
And I agree.
So you are now in possession of what appears to be a bogus medical record.
I think I
You
actually
can put
have
that in the
about 4 of
stack
those in
with
there.
your bogus marriage record.
I went there, I took the actual copy of the paper, I took exactly how much money they needed to be paid. We went to the proper place. There's only a few of them in Lagos. We went to the proper doctor's office. We got the report. We don't even see the report. The report gets sent directly to London. All we get is a receipt from them, and that's what we get. Do you have a copy of the proper ones we've had? No, because the government is keeping them.
But he asked for money because he was sick.
Only one time did my husband say he needed a little money when he had malaria. He did have malaria.
James, who is the woman in the picture behind the car on your Facebook page?
I don't know.
Are you married to another woman with whom you have a child?
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, his buying spree.
A golf cart, 2 cars, 3 TVs.
Bankrupted them.
That did include the house, so don't...
You're backpedaling.
No, not backpedaling.
The hell you're not.
That's tomorrow.
James, are you on the phone?
I'm on the phone. I'm with you.
Thank you. Who do you play football for?
It's academy. It's an academy. The football academy. Like, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Okay, so you don't get paid?
Now, like in 3-4 months now, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I play with the academy now, so I don't get paid.
Are you married to another woman with whom you have a child?
No, I'm not married at all in Nigeria.
Are you married to another woman anywhere?
No, at all, and I have no baby.
Who is the woman in the picture behind the car on your Facebook page?
On my Facebook page?
Yes, on your Facebook page. Who is that?
I don't know. I think it's my cousin. Oh, I guess.
Did you refer to Deanna as a ATM?
No. Somebody hacked my Facebook because it's been happened 2 times now. I can't call my wife an ATM. It's not possible. It's not possible for me to call her an ATM. Because I love her and she loves me so much too.
Yeah, James, where did you get the police character certificates that you have?
Me and my wife go there together.
My concern here, again, is this is Nigeria police character certificate. This is a certificate that they supposedly do that says this is to certify that according to criminal records recorded in Nigeria that this person, there's no trace of any convictions, and there are 3 of these, and we start comparing these to the ones that they actually give, and this one says no convictions instead of no convictions, and this is a printed form. And then we have another one here, and they don't bother to have Nigeria capitalized on their official document. You present these kind of things to Canadian officials.
I'm not disagreeing with you. We've hired guys over there who Yep. I can explain a little. I've been there myself in person when one of these were done, not at the police station, where we've hired a guy. This is true, and this is why I'm not sticking up for my husband. He's a little naive. Sorry, I'm not being rude, but he's a little naive. So was I. I'm no longer naive. When these reports were done, one time, and I remember this distinctively, a guy came on a bike, picked up his identification, his stuff, went to the police shop, came, and we went and did our own thing, having fun in Nigeria as much as you can have, and he brought us back the report. And I said to my husband at that time, this isn't what the Canadian government wants. The Canadian government needs an actual report similar to what we would get here. Only, I've been stopped by the police at gunpoint numerous times when I'm with my husband. My husband will get out and say, what are you doing? She's my wife. She's allowed to be here. They'll literally take my purse, search me right in the middle of the road, make sure I'm willingly there. You name it, I saw it happen. I've been there enough trips. In Canada, would that happen? A cop would never pull you out of the vehicle and say, here, we want to check you. Not with a gun pulled. Come on. It's not Canada. These documents, because we were naive and stupid back then, I'm not going to lie. It's crazy, and the story sounds ridiculous. We have learned since then.
But these aren't legitimate documents.
The one that police have now is legitimate with fingerprints.
But it's convictions, and they don't capitalize the name of the country.
I never read them. Call me dumb, call me stupid. I'm not kidding, I'm busy. You flew us here at the drop of a hat. I had to quit work.
I don't want to call you dumb or stupid, but I want you to listen to the fact that you are being given documents that have been fabricated.
My husband's about as smart as me in that area, and I don't mean to be silly.
Isn't it time to get smarter about this?
We are smarter. We have done the right stuff. That's why I hired an immigration specialist to say, look I have a company. I'm a busy, busy person. I need help here.
Well, you're getting help here.
And that's what I want.
I'm giving you useful information. Where does Deanna see her marriage going now? I'll ask her and talk to these guys that love her for sure when we come back.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, of course I do. What am I supposed to do? I see what you're showing me. I was with my husband when we picked those up. I was as stupid as him, if you want to say stupid. I didn't read the papers. I just went, oh, it must be like, okay, he did it. Good.
So you don't have any questions for me?
Well, I would like to know, what can I do to verify if he's got another wife? What can I do to prove one way or the other that our marriage is real or not real? How do I prove it? Is my marriage real, or is the government actually not letting him come for a real legitimate reason?
Okay. Right now, I understand that you are mentally, emotionally, physically, socially invested in this relationship. I totally get that. And I would take no pleasure in telling you that it was not a legitimate relationship. I would take absolutely no pleasure in that. I have said many times, the only thing worse than being in a bad relationship for a year would be being in a bad relationship for a year and 1 day. The only thing worse than being in a bogus marriage for 6 years would be being in a bogus marriage for 6 years and 1 day. So all I'm asking you to do is say, you know what? I've provided them some documents. They've looked at them with a different eye than I did. They have gotten some other documents from the government to compare to my documents. And based on that, some of my documents are called into question. You say, hey, I was there. We were together. So if there's a scam, we were scammed together.
Correct.
Unless you were being played by him and the people that he was working with.
Yep, correct.
I don't know that.
Me neither.
I don't know. I don't know him. I can't say, but I'm telling you, anybody that doesn't react to the inconsistent data that you have in front of you just simply doesn't want to know the truth. You want to know the truth.
I do.
And I've written a book called Life Code, and in it I talk about the fallacy of benefit of the doubt, where we were taught, you know, look for the best in people, give people the benefit of the doubt. And I say that's ridiculous. You don't give people the benefit of the doubt, nor do you judge them. What you do is you gather information and make an informed decision about that person. You can't continue to turn a deaf ear to this. You need to consider the fact that you are being played here.
I'm being played by hundreds of people then, and thousands of people.
Yeah. That's extremely possible.
For this amount of money, he could have bought his way out of the country. If that's the case, I have to deal with it.
We've had a private investigator on the ground in Nigeria.
Which is perfect. That's what I want.
And it's not coming up good. Do you have an adult child who still lives at home and expects you to pay their way? If so, go to drphil.com. In fact, do it before the end of this sentence and tell me your story, because you need my help. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Do you recognize that you may have bogus passports in the mix here?
I know I have passports in the mixture.
Okay. Do you recognize that you may have bogus hospital records?
That I also know.
Do you realize that you may have bogus marriage documents in the mix here?
That paper? Possibly.
Okay, so The fact that there are bogus documents swirling around this.
Well, as long as somebody can prove it, I'm great with it. Like, if that's the case, I have to deal with it.
We've had a private investigator on the ground in Nigeria.
Which is perfect. That's what I want.
And it's not coming up good.
And that's fine. I'm good with that. I need to see that. And I'm not going to lie. I'll take it good.
And I haven't presented it to you because at this point it's not verified.
I want to see the proof. There's no way to show me.
You're getting what you asked for if you don't hear what I'm telling you.
I'm listening.
You have been warned with black and white information that says you need to proceed with caution and you need to verify and find out, not through him, independently, through the government. You need to find out what's going on.
How do I prove that through the government?
Independently.
I agree, but how?
And there are agencies over there, and we can put you in touch with Ambassador Tinalabi's office, who will walk you through this.
That would be perfect.
They have nothing more than an interest in protecting the Nigerian reputation and making sure that people understand there is an accountable, responsible government in place that is interested in making sure people get a fair treatment.
Correct.
On Nigerian soil.
And I'm good with that.
And we will make that introduction and make that happen for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Have I made a fair presentation here?
I just hope that she doesn't go over there until we do have results again. I don't want her to be putting her life.
This can start immediately.
Nice. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fair enough?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Special thanks to all of my guests today. If you have a story that has you saying, Dr. Phil, I need you to listen to me, and I will listen. I want to hear about it. Log on to drphil.com. Tell me where you need help. I mentioned my book, Life Code, to Deanna. You guys have been great today. Everybody in the audience is going home with a copy. We'll see you next time.